Hey guys, and welcome out to the Pod of War Gamescast. I am your host, EOF Gizmo, joined this week by Xbox Live's Massive Das,
Hello, everyone.
and of course, Nintendo ID's very own CW Lanky.
Hello.
It's a big
And
episode.
to read out my whole ID.
Oh, your whole friend code.
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyway, we'll get into that. Don't you worry. So this is a big episode. It's, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, this is a Switch-centric episode because Chris loves the Switch.
I do.
I suddenly love the Switch. Craig has bought a Switch.
Madness.
Yeah.
Have you got your
What
Switch?
a time to be alive.
Have you got your Switch close to hand, Craig?
I don't. Chris, show your Switch. So,
Yeah, my Switch.
let me-
because it's
there,
one of,
it looks like
it's
I'm
not,
holding his Switch.
it's not just your pickup. I've also picked up a Switch.
I forgot
bought a
you
Switch.
bought another Switch. Oh.
So I bought a Switch OLED, and also you can see I've also bought some Switch Split Pad Pros from Hori as well in blue, and that because I did obviously bought the OLED, set up, playing some Mario Kart, and I did not find it that comfy. Find the stick and the B button was a bit too close together, so I've bought the Split Pad Pros and that. So that's how I'm currently playing it on the handheld. So yeah, I got a Switch OLED now.
The Mario Kart, you are right. A handheld with the Joy-Cons is brutal. Like my wrist was like, it felt like my wrist was like cramping, just trying to
Yeah.
get to the actual bumpers. And yeah, I think you do need something like that if you're going to play Mario Kart handheld.
Yeah,
Obviously, copy me because I did it months ago. But we'll, as a trend set.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get
It's like-
too deep, Pengy, let's get the rigmarole out the way first, and then we'll get
Yes.
into this because we tangents are for life. We've got a big episode, so we got to get it done. So let's start. I'm the most boring, so let's start with me. Okay.
Yeah.
So what have I been playing? I finished Voice of Cards, the Isle Dragon Rules. I don't think I'd finished
Nice.
it last week, but I've now finished it. I got the perfect ending because I did every side quest. I got every ultimate weapon. It's a really fun game. It
Excellent.
took 11 hours to fully complete. It's not for the price.
will
it's
you
not too
be
bad.
picking up the sequel?
In
or-
November, I will, Chris. In November, I will. But
He's trying to tempt you, and he's trying to,
yeah, it's a fun game. And I
trying to
really
lure
like
you in.
So, like, for you guys that can buy those games, when it's in a sale and it's under 20 quid, I would highly recommend it because for handheld, I don't think there isn't much better for that type of game because it's so suited to playing it handheld. Like, it's just so chill. Like, the graphics aren't intensive. Like, the combat's pretty simple, but it's also quite cool. The story's really well written. It's exactly the type of story you expect from a Yoko Taro Square Enix game. It's fun. It's a good game. So I really
Yeah, I'm
recommend it.
hoping. I think you mentioned it on a previous episode. They do like a physical double pack with both games in or something, and get that on like Switch. And like you said, it's what I've always wanted, like a Pokemon trading card game on Switch, and there is actually like the one on PC. Like I feel like a card game and stuff on a portable works. Would work pretty well.
Yeah, and I think if you like the look of Voice of Cards, I think the Steam World card game is quite similar. It's Hand of Giggleneck, which
Yeah.
I've owned for ages and just haven't played, obviously. But it's a very similar combat system, so you might quite like that. Other than that, boys and girls, I'm playing Pokemon Shining Pearl, which is obviously one of the backlog games. I'm about 8 hours in now. I'm starting to enjoy it. It's very easy. Like, I know it's Pokemon, but it's very easy. Like, I'm just walking through, mashing A, winning at all times. It's grown on me, and maybe I'll do a full review once I've completed it. I know that you have completed it, Chris.
Yeah, it is quite easy, and then you get to the Elite Four, and
Yeah, like, simply
Sorry.
it's, like, hard, and it's like, oh,
yeah, it's like it's walk in the park, and then you get to Cynthia, and it's like, oh,
the park has smacked me in the face. Oh, okay. Other than that, what have I played? I played some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I finally done the Gold Star run on the mirror mode, so I have the Gold Cart, boys. We've got it. We've got the Gold Cart. And am I going to get the Gold Tires by doing the time trials? No. But we've got the Gold Cart. That's all that matters. So I've finally done it.
so on the 18th we see online in your gold cart.
In my Gold Cart online on the 18th when the DLC comes out, which is very exciting. You throw me there, Chris. No, I haven't played anything else. Obviously, it's my birthday in a couple of days, so I've already got my birthday game. So I'm just going to show them now to get them out of the way. There's going to be some judgment, I think, from this. So the first one is very obvious. It's, of course, going to be Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a Pokemon game I've been wanting to play it for a while, so I'm really looking forward to it. I know. Have you played it, Chris? You finished it?
Yeah.
And did you plowed through it, didn't you? Like, and I know there's more DLC. There's more like content now, so
Yeah,
I'm
they've
looking
added
forward
a
to
bit
that.
of extra
I'm looking
content.
forward to that quite a lot. Obviously, we've had the announcement of more Pokemon games since that. So Pokemon for life, apparently. So the other game, you're going to have to go with me on this one, Craig. Okay, so we played, me and my other friends, a board game version of this game. And I was like, And then I watched some videos, and I was like, kind of I want to buy something different. Because I just had my wish list was just JRPGs. And I was like, all I have done is play JRPGs.
Don't fall into that trap, Dave.
That's a JRPG. I've literally got another JRPG to play for my backlog. I'm playing Pokemon. I've just done Voice of God, so I wasn't good. I was like, well, what do I want to play? Like, I want to challenge myself to do something a bit different this year. Because I'm not buying any more games. This is the last section of when I can buy games until November. So I was like, I want to try something a bit different. I haven't really given a chance to before. Okay? So you're going to have to go with me on this, Craig. What I decided, in my infinite wisdom, was to buy Dark Souls Remastered for my Switch. Craig has died.
Okay.
So,
Weird. you say that. Me and you might have had like the weird same thought, because I almost bought it when I got this stack of games in my pile. I almost bought Dark Souls Remastered myself on Switch, but I didn't want to spend 30 quid on it. And then I've been trying to look for a cheap copy
I found
for
it for
on
16,
eBay. Nice.
which wasn't too bad. And I was playing with my I was playing some Astral Chain with my Split Pad Pros, and I was like, this is actually really comfortable to play in bed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, right? Everything gets one chance. I could sell it for 15. Like, that's not a problem. So I was like, you know what? Everything gets one last go. I really enjoyed the board game we were playing. It was a lot of fun. So I was like, okay. I always complain the controls are terrible, but I never really given it a chance. So let's give it a chance. You know, if I beat this game, Craig, you need to buy me a shiny hat. But yeah, that was my.
You two are mental.
Oh, I know. Well, whatever. You love it. It's for the content, Craig. It's for the content.
Yeah.
So that is all of my purchasing now until November 27th. That's all. I can't buy anything else now. That's all my birthday. Unless someone has bought me something that I'm going to receive on Tuesday, which I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that if people have bought me anything, it's been gift cards. So that will go on money towards my my accessories for my Mac that I just bought. That's a whole separate episode anyway. But yes. So let's move on to Pengy before we get to the excitement.
I was gonna.
What's the question? Go.
Yeah, you mentioned the games you played. I know you bought one other thing. You bought a Vita TV. Have you been playing anything on that?
I forgot about that, Chris. Well done. I did buy a PlayStation TV. Got them very cheap.
Yeah.
I played some Final Fantasy X on it, which looked really good. But I was like, okay, I'm going to play this when I finish the JRPGs that I'm playing. Excuse me, because I want to play it on Xbox, but it's gonna leave Game Pass soon because they've started to cycle the Final Fantasies out.
Yeah, one goes and one comes.
Yeah, and I was like, do I want to play 10 and 10-2 in quick succession just because they're leaving Game Pass? Like, no, I own them on Vita. I'll just play them on Vita. So, yeah, I've had quite a good weekend where I've been home alone in this building that I'm currently living in. So it's been living room stuff. I hasn't been set the Vita TV up. So the Switch is king, as this episode is gonna quite quickly.
Oh, I was just interesting. I didn't know if you started Persona 4 Golden again because you can play it on the TV.
Maybe. I mean, it's a commitment in it. I mean, I want a platinum run of that game, but it is a commitment. So anyway, let's get to Pengy. I know Pengy's bought a whole game shop again.
Yeah.
So Pengy, what have you bought?
So obviously,
try and keep it quick if you can.
So I bought the Switch OLED and the Split Pad Pros on that, and I traded in. No shock to you, and obviously you know, I traded in my Oculus Quest 2, and I was going to get the cash for it, and I spotted 2 games I wanted. Actually, I spotted 3 games I wanted, and I was just going to use the cash for that, and it would have left me like 50 quid or something. So I decided to just get the whole trade-in instead, which was enough to get like 10 games. I haven't got all 10 games here.
Thank God.
Because it's a Switch episode, I've just got the Switch games. So I have got... So the first one is Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is also something I've been playing and I have finished. It's currently on eBay as well, because I've finished that. It's like 9 hours long. It's a rhythm-based Kingdom Hearts game. It reminds me of the Theatre of Rhythm games that was on the 3DS. and I played it pretty much all handheld as well. Like, that's why I wanted it after getting the OLED and the split pad. It's like, oh yeah, I like Theatre Rhythm. Let's get a Kingdom Hearts version of that. So played that. It is canon. The ending ends with Kingdom Hearts will return. So waiting for Kingdom Hearts 4, Nomura. So, you know, if you want to
So
get
is
on
this
that.
set after 3?
Yes, it's kind of set the same time as the DLC of 3. They're happening like the same time-ish, from what I've gathered from it.
Fucking Kingdom Hearts.
I haven't
Kingdom
played
Hearts.
the DLC. I haven't played the DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, but what I got from the ending of this with Kyrie, it is happening at the same time as the Remind DLC for 3, which then I guess will go into Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever.
It won't be 4. It will be
We're-
Kingdom Hearts 3.56 over D.
Yeah. So that is one game I got. Then another game I've been playing recently was Xenoblade Chronicles Torna Golden Country, which I talked about last time. I finished that, really enjoyed it, very impressed with that. So yeah, 2 games I got were in when, you know, I traded in my quest was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Right, Craig. What do you think is more likely? Chris finishing one of those or me finishing Dark Souls?
I think the apocalypse coming tomorrow is more likely than any of those situations happening.
Yeah. Were you going to include Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in that? Because obviously that's coming this year.
Chris, I love you. You are not going to finish 1 and 2, let alone 3. Like,
Especially, he's not even got to the end of the games that he's bought yet. Like, we know there's another big one coming in a second.
Do I just need to finish one of the Xenoblade Chronicles this year?
I think both of them are 40 hours. At least.
I just looked. One of them is Definitive Edition's 51 and a half, and 2 is 64, and that's just if you straight line the story.
It's hard to
because
story.
Because Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition's got that Future Connect, which is it's like another 10-hour expansion which they added. So I got those 2. Keeping on the RPG theme, I got Blue Reflection as well on Switch.
Even I've not heard of that. What the hell is Blue Reflection?
This is actually the second one. This is Blue Reflection Second Light, and this is from...
It looks like a hentai game, Chris, I'll be honest.
It's not. It's from Gust. Obviously, you make the Atelier Riser games.
Obviously.
So you know what this is. I got it.
That's a backlog game. That's Chris.
That is a backlog. That is a backlog game. That is what we call.
Are you sure this isn't a hentai game? Yeah,
it's not.
It looks
even the cover on How Long to Beat looks a bit. I don't know, mate. I don't know.
What's the age rating, Chris?
A 12 is a 12.
A Japanese 12 though. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that means nothing really.
Yeah. So
37.5 hours though, Penguin. Was that one?
Pardon?
37.5 hours long, apparently.
It's a short one. You'd be able to do that.
It's a short one for a JRPG. So yes, that's like what I got from like the trade-ins and stuff. Obviously, I said I've played Xenoblade Chronicles Torna Golden Country, finished that. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, played that, finished that. And then one other Switch game that's arrived on Friday, which is a new release, is
Just
Triangle Strategy.
Chris is as shocked as everyone else.
Which I have been playing pretty much all day today. I am on Chapter 7. I think I'm 9 hours into it.
Nice.
So far. And yeah, it's really good. I've not played it on the OLED screen yet, which from the 2D HD I expect it looks fantastic, but there is a lot of talking in the game. And so I've had it on...
An RPG?
No, yeah, but this is like I seen one review joke. It's a visual novel with some combat in it.
Oh, that's your game of the year then, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, so I've been mainly playing it on like the TV, you know, because like Mario Kart, I've been like podcast. Fun.
You also bought Mario Kart.
I bought that last month. So.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't own Mario Kart?
No.
No, I don't. Wii U. Why buy it on Switch?
What?
Yeah, what Dave said.
That's exactly the voice he used.
Yeah, it's exactly the voice he used.
I still bought it because it's Mario Kart.
I picked Mario Kart. So what else I've also been playing from I played some Road 96 on Switch as well, which is a indie title. Which
is it the same as the 95 that came before it, or?
No, you're heading to a Road 96, and thing. It's like a Telltale cross with like a perma roguelike thingy.
Is this the hitchhiking game?
Yeah, it's similar. It is similar to the Hitchhiker I played last year, but you play a team where you need to like cross into Canada, and you like you said, you hitch across the thing, and then you play like 7 episodes, and it goes to like the to like a general election for the next president sort of thing, and like each episode you do different choices, and it can alter the next episode. They would hate it. Just imagine a Telltale game with like more random choices. It's kind of rough as well on the Switch. It is coming to PlayStation and Xbox at some point. I think it's coming to Game Pass as well when it comes to Xbox.
That would be the way to play it then, I would imagine.
I was willing to play it, yeah. I think Craig might have like a weird curiosity and played it because it could be an easy 1000G.
Craig's a weird man.
And it's on the Game Pass, but I'm not for you, Davey, that one.
I promise you that I will not play it.
No, then I tried to play some Warhammer Total War 3, but it runs awful on my laptop. It is pretty much unplayable. So I would like to play it, but I cannot play it.
You have to buy another gaming laptop, Pengy. It's the only way, mate.
You have to buy a $2,000 MacBook. Like I just bought.
Yeah. And that is it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you bought a console and 4 games for that console.
Technically
speaking,
5.
Now,
that's only half of it as well.
And obviously, last month I bought Mario Kart and Road 96.
And imagine if there was a road track in Mario Kart, that would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it? Right. Anyway, that's fun. Let's get to the main course for this what you've been doing section. Is hell has frozen over. Not only have I playing Dark Souls and I've bought a Mac, but Craig Warren has bought another games console that isn't an Xbox. So Craig, take it away. What have you been doing, boy?
It would be amazing if I just pulled up a Series S now. I was like, actually, guys, it was all a lie.
You've got a Series S, a dog bone controller.
Yeah, I just got it on top of my X, just the shits and giggles. So I'll talk about what I played on Xbox first, just get that rubbish out the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think on the last episode I just started Nobody Saves the World. I've now finished Nobody Saves the World. So that is 1 down on the backlog challenge, boys. Thank you.
1-0 to Craig.
Might be 2-0 soon. We'll get there in a minute. So that's that finished. It's actually quite a meaty game. I think it took like 21 hours. And I think I think it's £20 or £21. And I'm normally quite critical of these like indie game prices, but I'd actually say it's worth that. If for some reason you're mental and you own an Xbox and you haven't got Game Pass and you just don't do the math and go, oh, I'll just sub the Game Pass for a month and play it like that. If you're against all of those options and you're clinically insane and you just want to buy it, it's worth it. If you're that person.
They are a pretty flawless studio, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I spoke last about how like I was playing as the slug and using the trail to slow enemies, and it goes like all in on its like these like little characters that it has. Like I think one of them was like you're a zombie, and part of like the smoz of you being a zombie is you are constantly dying because you're rotting away like a zombie, and to stop yourself from dying, you have to do damage to enemies, and then that damage goes into your health. So you basically have to constantly just run at enemies like a headless zombie and just try and do damage. So it's like it just goes all in this really smart and clever with how they, how they use these builds that they have. And it's even stuff like you can bite the enemies, and then if you kill them, they get like come back as like little minion zombies. You can end up with like an army of like 20 minion zombies just running around your screen, killing everything for you. It's just great stuff. So I definitely recommend that one. After that, I played a little completion here in Telling Lies, which is a Annapurna game, which came straight to Game Pass, I believe, when it came to Xbox. I don't think this was on Xbox before. Yeah. Dave, you're going to love this.
I know.
So I'm going to pitch this to you. Okay. So
is
is
it a Welsh interactive game? Was it?
No. This is the guy that did Her Story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's is that what you're saying?
You'd think it was a Welsh interactive game. So it's a live action video, like detective search engine game. Is how I would describe.
Why can't this have died out in 1995 when it was crap anyway?
The way you play this, Dave, is you have to search words into your search engine, and that will give you little video clips. And then you can watch the video clips, and you have to then take information from the video clip you've just watched, and then use that to search again, so you can then progress the story. I started this, and I was like,
"That's the same premise of as Her Story." As well.
I started this, and I was like, "There's no way in hell this is going to work." I was like, "This is going to be an absolute mess." I was like, "There's no way it's going to be a coherent story," but it somehow does work, and it somehow does kind of tell you a coherent story. And I actually kind of got a bit addicted to this. I think it's like 4 hours long, and I ended up pretty much doing it in a day because it had me. I was hooked. There's 4 main characters, but one of them is kind of the main character, if that makes sense. You kind of follow, most of the videos are based around him. And there's a couple of like little like sub stories that he has, but one of them kind of had me like quite hooked. So I've focused mainly on that one. And then I think there's like 200 videos that you can watch, but you only have to watch 80 of them to get a ending. So I got that. I got to my like 80 videos to get to the ending, and I will say the ending is awful, absolutely pants. There's a very clear like last video that you can like you watch. It's meant to be the last one that you would like chronologically watch, which is quite good. But then you roll credits, and you're like, oh, this is gonna like tie it all in. This is gonna be this is gonna be smartly done, and it's just not. And then you get past the credits and it does this right, and then this is what all the characters are up to now, like after the story. And bear in mind, this has been really well acted, really well shot the whole time through. It's like watching a TV advert. It's bloody awful. Like what's happened? It's like they spent like all the budget on the meat and potatoes of the actual game, and then they just kind of got to the end. We're like, shit, we got 5 minutes, guys. We got to wrap this shit up. we just got to get it done. And it was pretty disappointing in the ending, but I don't know. I quite like the main story of that one, and it's a fairly easy completion as well. So I got that. After that, I played some Death's Door, also on Game Pass, and I finished Death's Door, even with you two thinking I wouldn't. It was the one on my backlog challenge. Nobody thought I'd do it. I only done it, boys. It's only 2-0. 2-0 to you, boy. It is quite difficult, especially at first. I actually found I died quite a lot at the start, and then kind of once I got used to it, I didn't die that much at all, other than kind of like the bosses, which can be quite challenging. There's one in particular that's just an absolute bastard and had me, kicking and screaming, but I got there eventually. But yeah, that's a fun game. Obviously, it's one of the highest rated games of last year. I don't know if it's quite that good, but it's decent. Definitely, if it's on Game Pass, it's worth giving it a go. And then last on Xbox, I have Contrast, which is a game by Compulsion. I think it was Compulsion's first game. Yeah. Finally come to Game Pass.
So was it a PlayStation launch title?
Yes.
Yeah, PS4 launch title, yeah.
Yes. It's an interesting one. It's kind of rough in places. It's one of those where I feel like they were very, as a like developer's first game, it's very ambitious. Yeah. Like, I feel like if they'd made that game now with probably the budget and the resources that they probably have now being owned by Microsoft, it'd be like really good. But it weirdly looks really pretty if you play it on Xbox because you get the auto HDR. So it does look really good. Playing it now, I don't know what it would look like back in the day. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. It plays fairly well. There's 3 chapters. The first 2 chapters I thought were really good, and then the third one, they kind of try and overcomplicate it and try and get the puzzles going maybe a bit too ambitious, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure this is really working. I was like, I don't really see how we're meant to get to these conclusions and that. But it's decent. It's only like 4.5 hours, and it's a very easy completion. So I got 2 completions the last couple of weeks, and 2 on the backlog from the Xbox. Jumping to the Switch, I don't have it on me, but I did buy. I only bought 1 game. I originally bought the Switch, so I thought you only need 1 game. You only need. I don't know if it's going to show it on my camera here. No.
Put it in front of you.
Just for it.
Yeah, it's Mario
in front of me.
Deluxe.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There you go. Which I've been playing a hell of a lot. I've done all the cups on 150. I obviously don't have the 3 stars in all of them because I'm not quite that good yet. I'm not that great yet. But I have won them all. I started doing the mirror tracks just before we were recording. I was enjoying that. And I was playing a few demos. I played the Kirby demo. Which I know Chris played as well. No, have you played?
No, I didn't play because I've already got the game pre-ordered.
Okay,
don't need to play a demo for it.
No, yeah. To be fair, you don't. Just know that it's great, and you're gonna love it. So you don't need to worry about that demo. But I did also play the Triangle Strategy demo, and ended up playing all of it, which I was quite surprised by because it's a good 5 hours long. I think it's the first 3 chapters, and really enjoyed it. Mainly because it's kind of the perfect handheld game. It's great for just kind of lying back with the OLED. Like Chris said, there's a lot of talking in this game. Hell of a lot of talking. Luckily, it is all mainly voice acted, and it's pretty good voice acting as well. And it's really well written, so that helps the talking. So I did, in the end, it's only just turned up like a couple of hours ago, pick up Triangle Strategy as well, and you can kind
of
see
what has happened to you, Craig?
I know, right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm a wild man, Dave. Anything could happen now.
Bloody weird.
It's a real interesting one because I was going into like a feature later. I was asking like some Nintendo gamers like, oh, what games to recommend and like what consoles you got? And I was like, oh, I got an Xbox. Oh, we won't recommend any JRPGs then. And it was like the first game we bought on the Switch is a JRPG. But it just shows you the power of Game Pass because you've played things like Nier Automata, and it's like, oh, this game's great. You've now played Scarlet Nexus and stuff. So you're willing to try even the demo of Triangle Strategy?
You're a big anime.
Gone full circle, boys. Next week could be I'll have some anime T-shirt on. There'll be some anime blasting in the background. Yeah, it'll all gone wrong. At that point, start worrying, boys. Yeah, maybe call me some help or something. I don't know. But obviously that's only just covered a couple of hours, so I haven't played any more past the demo. But the demo was great. I really like the way you do the big decisions in this game, because you normally a big decision comes up and you have to pick your option, and then obviously it happens. In this one, the big decision comes up, but your party have to vote on it, which is really cool. And then you have to try and influence your party to make them vote for how you want them to vote. And they all have different responses, and they all have different convictions. So some of them you've got no chance of swaying them unless you pick the right one and you have the right one unlocked. And some are fairly easy to sway. So it's really cool way of doing that as opposed to just you picking a option out of 3. And it sounds like from a few views that there's some pretty big consequences to some of your actions, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I want to be responsible for some flooding that kills millions of people just by accident or something.
Square Enix games tend to have those. They tend to be look at this lovely little JRPG, she dies. So it's one of those, 100%. And it's funny because it's such a gateway, because if you like this, you can play Octopath on Game Pass, for example, and then the slope starts to if you start playing turn-based games, Craig, and you've just bought a Switch, there's some choices.
There's a plethora of options.
I would put money on you enjoying Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition more than Chris will.
We'll see how far Chris gets on that.
The first one's really good. The first one's the voice acting's amazing, and it's the first one's got the best story, I think. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
I do also have those are my 2 games I own, and I do have, courtesy of Mr. Chris, access to. I have to put it like this.
The best game ever made.
The best game ever made, as said by Chris Mengele. Breath of the Wild. So once I finish the 100 hours of Triangle Strategy, we can dive straight into the 100 hours of
Breath of the Wild. If you end up liking Breath of the Wild, which you will because you're not a moron, that means you're more of a Zelda fan than Chris.
That's true.
Madness, that.
Completely taken over him on the Nintendo.
Well, especially because you're playing FMV games, indie games, and now JRPGs. You are becoming Chris at this point. You just need to start buying like 20 games a week and then wearing awful shirts. That's all that's next. That's all that's next.
That's when Chris goes full circle and he's got like 5 Ubisoft games next week, and you're like, hang on, what's going on here?
Dogs, and he's just like, I actually did all the side quests, completed the map. I'm just like, what? I play an indie game that's pretentious. That's what I need to do. I'm like, oh yeah, actually the emotion.
Well, obviously you said you're not buying games, Dave, but obviously we've just both thought Triangle Strategy. Are you going to at least try the demo, the new demo, not the old one?
Why would I do that if I can't buy it? If it carries on, what happens if I like it? I can't forget about it. It'll wait. I think on my backlog list is I Am Setsuna, which is going to be similar enough. I'll be fine. Don't worry. It's a Square Enix game where everyone dies, I expect, so everything will be okay. More than likely, including Setsuna. So anyway, before we get into our main topic of the show, the tots, which is of course 5 games that me and Chris are going to recommend on the Switch for Craig, and he's going to just put some games he likes the look of, and we'll talk to him about it. Before we start that, let's get the definitive. Craig, what do you think of the Switch so far?
I mean, it's been really fun so far, actually. I mean, the playing it in bed is just great. It's just the fun part of the feet up, kind of doing something else, watching something else, and having these big battles on like Triangle Strategy. Especially because the battles on that game take quite a while, so you can kind of just chill out and play it at your leisure. Even I actually quite like even things like the UI. I like how simple the UI is on the dashboard. The friend codes are a bit of a throwback. I was like, God, I've actually got to enter like a 12-digit code to find someone, but I can kind of accept that. I love the madness of the fact the cases are like 10 times the size of the little SD cards. That's just mental.
I can demonstrate that now.
Yeah.
Don't.
I would say to Davey, I would love the quick resume feature on the Switch, just because I feel like jumping it. I find that I've just
you kind of got that, haven't you? Because you just put it in sleep mode and then put it back, and then that's
Chris
where
is actually correct. I forgot to mention that when we talked about it.
Yeah, but I mean, like switching between games without him.
You can switch.
That would be the ultimate. When the Switch 2 eventually comes out, that would be awesome.
Oh, Craig, bless you. You can start thinking like a Nintendo fan now.
You
can be like, they're gonna put in like a modern feature that everything else had 10 years ago.
We're gonna get themes now.
We haven't even got folders or themes on this. Oh wait, okay. Before we start, Craig, what color theme have you got?
I think it's just plain white.
Okay, well, you need to change that or you're a psychopath, okay?
You got white.
Change it to black. See? Do you want to be Chris? Change it to black.
Is that the only 2 options? I haven't got that.
Yeah. Of course, there's only 2 options you get.
Hopefully, because they've just added the option to buy your own icons with platinum points. So hopefully you can buy your own themes with platinum points, which they did on the 3DS.
Just give me folders. Let me put Mario Kart in its own folder. With another folder just says indie trash and everything else.
Maybe some dynamic backgrounds, some Mario dynamic backgrounds.
They did that on the 3DS, to be fair.
Yeah,
some of the 3DS
which you could buy with real money or points, and that's what I'm hoping they're gonna implement with this new feature.
We hope so. So overall, you like the Switch, Craig? Obviously, you haven't really been playing too much on the TV other than Mario Kart. Did you buy a Pro controller?
Yes, I do have a Pro controller now, which is actually a ridiculously good controller. It is awesome. Again, I think I was saying to you how much better I think this is than the controller I had on my PlayStation.
Yeah, the DualShock 4.
Yeah, much better than that pile of crap.
Absolutely.
I would have much rather used that to play like God of War and Horizon than the thing that felt like it was going to snap at any moment. Time in my hand. So yeah, I don't think I've had to charge it yet either. I think you were saying how long the battery is.
Yeah, the battery is like ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's definitely it feels like I don't know if they somebody else designed it, but it just feels so much better made than like the Joy-Cons and that as well. It feels like it feels quite sturdy.
Nintendo's weird because the controllers are usually pretty sturdy, Like the GameCube controller, the Wii controller, like the Wii U Pro controller, the Wii U gamepad even. They're all quite sturdy and well made, but for some reason Joy-Cons are terrible. And I don't know why, but they are. I've had to use mine recently because I went on a trip, and the Pro Plads don't really fit into a case. So I took my my Joy-Cons and I was like, this is fucking awful. I was like, I'm going to snap this stick at any given moment. I'm just going to... The buttons are tiny as well, you know. So,
the conspiracy theorist in me, you know, thinks that they're purposely bad to push you towards buying the controller, but I'm sure that's not the case. They would do that.
To be honest with you, I think they just can't be asked to redesign them. Like, I think they could just make Pro Pads, but they know that someone else will do it for them. So it's Nintendo. They can do what they want. Nintendo, right? So
yeah, because the split pads that you guys have aren't even like officially Nintendo, are they?
They're licensed, but they're not made by them. They're Hori, which Hori make great controllers anyway. Like the Hori Switch controllers for backup controllers are fine. Like they're really good. The wireless ones and the wireless.
Yeah, they even do one that's almost like the Xbox Elite controller. That's like even fancier. Hori. Yeah,
they're a good company. But yes, so you like the Switch? Let's talk about the topic of the show. So I tasked Chris with thinking of 5 games to recommend for young Craigo. I've done the same, and Craig will pipe in with games afterwards that he likes the sound of and that likes the look of. So Chris, what is your first recommendation for Craig?
My first recommendation is one that I don't own.
Surely not.
Surely not. And Dave might realise why, with the similar Mario Kart reason. That is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Which obviously I know you have played a little bit of, Craig, but basically it's the next sort of like must-have Switch game behind Mario Kart, especially if you've not played the Smash Bros on Wii U or 3DS, and Mario Kart's the obvious kart racer. If you want a fun fighting game, and you don't want to go totally serious like a Guilty Gear or something, Smash is like the perfect one. And obviously something in Mario Kart 8 you don't unlock new drivers because obviously it's all over from Mario Kart 8, but obviously you can unlock all like 80 something characters or something now in Smash Bros Ultimate. Obviously some of them are DLC, so there's like tons of content to do as well. They keep someone playing for ages. Could be a great game to play, play a couple of rounds in bed, like you said, and all right, I've played a couple of rounds of Smash. I've unlocked Cloud, and all right, bedtime or whatever.
I do like the idea of me having to text you guys every 5 minutes. Like, I've unlocked so and so from what the hell is this? What game's are you from?
I just like Fire Emblem. It's a Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
it's a good shout to be fair because I did obviously play a little bit this round. Dave's did kick Penguins' ass.
Chris is
really destroyed him.
Nintendo games though. It's funny. It's really funny.
So it is a good shout. The progression of it did seem pretty good, to be fair, having to unlock new characters by actually beating them. It's something that, like you say, Mario Kart needs. Mario Kart 9, whenever that comes out, when the Switch 2 is out, in 2035, it needs to have that sort of progression. So yeah, it's a good shout.
Yeah, I think Smash is one of those games. Like, we've got to remember as well for the viewers that Craig hasn't owned a Nintendo console since the N64.
Yeah.
So that's
why
Smash is a considerable amount of content anyway. Like, this version of Smash has the spirit mode and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of content for a single player, especially if you're not burnt out by Smash like the rest of us are. Like, I was a bit burnt out by the time I got to it, but I played every single Smash for hundreds of hours beforehand. So
exactly. So
yeah, it's a good shout. So my first recommendation for Craig is one that Chris will not recommend because I think he's forgotten about it. And that is Fast RMX, which is a downloadable racing game, which is basically as close to F-Zero as we're going to get. And the reason I recommend this is it's a good-looking game on the Switch. It was at launch. It's got a lot of... If you're a bit bored of Mario Kart's greatness, but you fancy some kind of futuristic, high-speed shenanigans, I think Fast RMX is a pretty good shout. It literally is like a Wipeout / F-Zero game, but you can change color for different power-ups and stuff. Like, it looks great, it plays nice, it's got a good bit of content on it. The online multiplayer was pretty fun when we played it. I remember us playing it at the forum, like on the Switch launch. I think it was like one of the launch
because it was like the only few multiplayer games that launched on there. That wasn't like 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, God, what game? Okay. But yeah, Faster MX is a bit of a left field one. Again, it's the type of game I know Craig likes, and I know there isn't really a game like it from Nintendo themselves at the moment. It is an exclusive, I believe, so it's kind of a Nintendo game. Shinen have been kind of embedded. It's actually the developers of The Tourist, Craig, which you played on Xbox.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And they make great games, but yeah, Faster.
I'm watching a trailer for it now. It's very Fatal Inertia sort of vibes.
Yes,
definitely.
It's that type of game, and it's fun. Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah, it looks good to be fair. Looks good.
Pengals, game number 2.
Right, game number 2 is one that Dave recently got, and that's Pokemon Legends. Right. Reason I've gone for Pokemon Legends is because it's a Nintendo system, and I thought of this sort of logically, right? You got to have Smash Bros, you got to have Mario Kart, you got to have a Pokemon game. It's like the rules, and out of the Pokemon games that are currently available on Switch. So this is one that might change with Scarlet and Violet, because I will pick up one of them. It will mostly come out November, and Dave might pick up one of them. And then you can go online and trade and stuff. So this is one that might change. But so at the moment, Pokemon Legends is the best Pokemon game on Switch. Obviously, it does things slightly different to a normal Pokemon game. You haven't got the gyms, so you've got like these weird boss battles instead, and it's more about catching the Pokemon, and you actually got to catch them all. It's the tagline is sort of apt in this one compared to the normal battle, become the very best of the normal one, but it is the best Pokemon game on the Switch.
It's also the most Craig Pokemon game, because I think for
the only other
I would choose Let's Go, but because it's the type of games that Craig likes, I think Legends. It's
yeah. The only thing maybe, and it's not in his favour, because there's been a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild. Play Breath of the Wild first, and then play Legends. So you'd be like, "Oh, this is not as good as Breath of the Wild," or "I don't want another open world game," or something like that. But it is, like I said, the best Pokemon until possibly Scarlet and Violet, where we're all playing that instead.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, she's telling me I definitely shouldn't say Breath of the Wild before that, Pengals. That's your advice there.
Yeah, play Pokemon Legends before Breath of the Wild. There you go.
I can't wait for Craig to literally be like, Breath of the Wild changed my life. It was so good. Nice. So my game number 2 is another exclusive, and I mean this is going to shock everyone. It's an exclusive game on the Switch. It's actually Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
I mean, I got that on my list, on your original one.
I know, I can't remember, but it's fine. We have so many games to choose from. So Craig obviously hasn't played a Pikmin game. So what is a Pikmin game? A Pikmin game is kind of an RTS-y kind of game, where you take your little dudes and you go and you fight bigger dudes and you get fruit and do whatever, with that natural Nintendo charm. The reason I recommend Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I think it's quite a robust game. The Switch port obviously has a lot of content. You don't need to have played Pikmin 1 and 2 to have played Pikmin 3. It's not one of those. And it's just a different type of game, and I think it works really well for handheld. I just think it'd be a fun, different type of game. It's the fun thing about Nintendo is they do make quite a variety of games. So you can, you don't need every game to be Breath of the Wild, but you also don't need every game to be Mario. So I thought Pikmin, you're new to Nintendo realistically for the last 20 years, so you might as well try one of their more hidden gem franchises. I think that's fair to say, Chris.
Yeah.
I did play the Wild at Heart, I think it's
That's
called.
why it was on my list, because I know you play Wild at Heart.
Yeah, so. Last year when it came to Game Pass, and really enjoyed that. And I know that is like, it's, from reviews, people are saying it's kind of like an indie Pikmin sort of clone game. So, yeah, and again, being handheld is always good, because I just want to play that stuff in bed.
Yeah, I think there's a demo of it on the eShop.
I think I've got it downloaded. I haven't played it yet, but I've downloaded them.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Right, my next choice is not Pikmin 3. Now it is I think it's the second best-selling game, or might be the third best-selling game on Switch. Mario Kart's miles in front, and this is also maybe a left field choice, but is perfect on handheld. I played it all handheld, and that's Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Fuck off! There is no way Craig can play Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
So yeah, it is. You say this is not a Craig game, but
I mean,
Craig
he's turning
is
into you, so maybe.
But he's playing triangle strategy, so it sounds, like I said, a weird choice. But the time and place might have passed for it because everyone was jumping on it, like when COVID first happened, and everyone was like going to everyone else's little, villages and stuff on the game and trading their fruit. Like, if you jump on it now, like, who are you trading fruit with? Sort of thing. But it was a fun handheld experience. You jump in, you do your little tasks for that day, you gather your fruit, dig up your fossils, talk to your villagers, all that good stuff. It's one of the best-selling games on Switch for a reason. It is great. It is a great life sim game.
I just feel like you couldn't have recommended a game that Craig would like less.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever played any of that sort of game. I've never played like Stardew or anything like that on the Xbox.
Yeah, I think you like having clear goals.
Yes, you're right.
You run out of clear goals quite quickly on Animal Crossing. Like you can get to credits, which takes about a week, but after that, it's like.
Yeah, I do need something to chase. I need a character to be down. Like when we played Minecraft, I wouldn't be able to play Minecraft just like normally. Yeah, but me and you just like chasing achievements endlessly was fun. So yeah, I need some guidance, definitely. I need to be pushed in the direction so I know where to go.
It's a tough one. I think in a couple of years you might enjoy it, but there's just so many games that that are games that you will play that I don't know. Like Animal Crossing is such a time commitment. Like if you want it to be your life, you can, but I just don't think you want that kind of escapism, Craig. But hey, it's a good game either way. It's a reason that everyone loved it, put it that way. Okay, my game number 3.
Yeah.
So I thought about a lot of things, Craig, thinking about games for you. It's that balance with handheld and TV. It's always the hardest thing with recommending Nintendo games. So I've decided to recommend. This was down to 2 games really, and I figured that the more interesting game to recommend would be Astral Chain from our friends at Platinum, which is very similar to Scarlet Nexus / Nier / Devil May Cry. It's that type of game. I don't actually know a lot about it because it's on my backlog for a reason. I haven't played a lot. But you basically have a second character tethered to you, a la Scarlet Nexus a bit. It's a hack and slash game. It's one of the few, it's one of the like bigger sort of AAA looking games, I think, on the Switch. I think that's fair, like a third person action game. And I know you like that type of game. It's an exclusive. It's from a very good developer. It's reviewed very well. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the flashier looking Switch games, isn't it? Absolutely. It looks like a lot of time and effort was put into it. Do we know how hard it is? Is it like a Devil May Cry where even an idiot like me can play it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. It stands a chance definitely then, because
it's not
as long as I'm not gonna be throwing my controller out the window, that's always good.
I don't think. I mean, Platinum games are never easy, but they're never like hard. They're just like, hey, like you can't just mash X. You need to mash Y occasionally. They always have like.
As long as there's not more than 2 buttons, that's the main thing.
Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta are like, we've given you a dodge mechanic.
See, I think I've got on my list because I think Bayonetta 1 and 2 are better.
They are less Craig games though. Because Bayonetta 2 was on mine as well, and I talked to Craig about it the other day, and I was like, Craig was like, do I really want to be caught playing this game?
Yeah, but how much?
I did play one of them on Xbox because it's a game Gold.
Yeah, Bayonetta 1. Yeah, it was like, how much do you like Devil May Cry, basically, and do you want more like of that? And if you want more of that, Bayonetta 2,
but sexier.
Is there? You think Dante's not sexy? Oh, terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I played very much of it. Let me just say that. I think I played like an hour, and then I feel like it maybe.
It was a bit much. Maybe now you might like it, but at the time it probably was a bit much.
Yeah. I think it also maybe didn't I don't know if the tutorial was that great for my memory. I feel like it was like throwing a lot of stuff at me very quickly. I liked, I like slow, like, teach me one button and give me a couple of hours to master press my one button, and maybe throw me in a second one. Give me a couple of hours to figure out how to do two buttons, and then we build from there. When it's like, oh, here's 6 different buttons and there's combos, and if you hold these 2 buttons at the same time, it does this. And I'm there like, yeah,
The one good thing about buying Bayonetta 2 on Switch, if you buy it physically, you get a download code for Bayonetta 1's remaster as well. So it's a very hard game to get hold of for some reason. Whenever I try it's always like 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
Astral Chain
Digital might be the best. Yeah.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Game number 4.
Game number 4. Okay. One on the fly, because obviously Pitman's gone. And what else do you need on the Nintendo system apart from Pokemon? Apart from Mario Kart and Smash, you need a Mario game. Super Mario Odyssey is the one to go for, because it goes back to the classic Super Mario 64, which I don't know if you played that or not on your N64. It goes to the more classic sort of Mario exploring, like that game has, where you go into your own level, do a bunch of objectives in the level to get your star or whatever, and then you can go on to, well, it's actually moons in this one. You get moons, then you can move on and get more moons. There's like, if you want to just finish the game, it's like 100 moons. But if you want to go for the completion, you got like 300 of them to get. You got green coins and that. So there's tons of content. The caption mechanic with Cappy was cool as well. So yeah, it is the 3D Mario platformer to go for on Switch.
I mean, it's a very safe pick, and everyone does it very obviously. But yeah, it's definitely one that I want to get at some point, because I haven't played that many Mario games. It'd be a shock to no one, I guess. But yeah, I did play some Mario 64. I don't think I ever finished it. I don't know how far I ever got in it, because I would have been fairly young. But I definitely would want to play Odyssey at some point.
See, Odyssey, it's a difficult one to recommend for me, because I just don't feel like it's a Mario game. Like, it's so different, and it's also so similar to Kirby. The new Kirby.
Yeah, the new Kirby does look similar. Quite similar.
Like, I feel like personally, Mario 3D World is the better recommendation for someone who hasn't played a lot of Mario games, because I think it's a bit more classic Mario, and that it's level based, it's shorter stints of playing and that kind of thing. And Odyssey, I just found like, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it that much. I was like, just feels like collectathon for the sake of collectathon. Like, it's like every 10 seconds you get a moon for doing something stupid.
I remember when it like first came out, like it was all I saw on Twitter was just people going on about moons and how many moons they got and all that.
It was so weird. Like, I enjoyed playing it. Like, I played it to finish. I got the bonus world, which Chris knows what that is, and I just it's probably the least replayed Mario game I've ever played. Like, I've never wanted to go back, and I just didn't enjoy it as much.
There is also, obviously, we've both gone, and we'll go on for a different one. 3D World is actually really good as well. Like, there's not really a bad Mario game. That does feel more like a 2D Mario made 3D with like the whole, like how the levels are done. But that Bowser's Fury does look like proper 3D and stuff. But obviously, there's the 3D All Stars as well, which has obviously got the free Mario. Dave's shaking his head. No,
you can't buy them, Chris. Where's he going to buy them from?
There's a place called eBay that exists. You can. Yeah.
Nintendo told us those copies would be destroyed on the 31st of March last year, so you cannot. But,
yeah,
I mean,
which obviously explode like Mission Impossible.
To be honest, the 3D All Stars thing is not a good recommendation, because to be honest with you, Mario 64 is on the 64
Nintendo Switch Online. Yeah.
So there's no point playing that. Sunshine, I love it. Not aged well, especially for someone who didn't play it back in the day.
And then it's at least Galaxy
is better on Wii with the Wii controls, and you cannot play it with your Split Pad Pro because you need the gyro.
Yeah. So okay. So it's obviously your 3D World. There you go.
Yeah. Honorable mention, by the way, to New Super Mario
just
Bros.
By Kirby.
New Super Mario's U, because you have not played any of the New Super Mario games. So New Super Mario Bros. U, if you want a 2D platformer, is unreal for you. specifically for you because you haven't played the 600 versions of that game they've put out over the last 10 years.
I'm guessing that's a port, is it, from the Wii?
It is a port for the Wii with all the DLC. The DLC is arguably the best bit, which is like a hard mode version of the game, which is sick. It's an amazing 2D platformer. Like, it really is. Like, I know there's other 2D platformers that we could recommend, like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Yoshi's Crafted World, Kirby Star Allies, but personally, for someone uniquely like you that hasn't played a Mario game since whenever, like you've probably never played a 2D Mario game when it was a thing, like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is a great game. It's a great pickup. There's a reason it's one of the best-selling games on Switch as well, for the record. But yeah,
there's so much choice for Mario games, isn't there? So many choices.
Is. Like if you want all the choice, get Mario Maker 2 and just play endless Mario, because
just make your own Mario.
Make your own Mario. So I think this is my game number. This is my game 4 or 5, Chris.
You're number 4. I've got my 5 left. 5th to go.
My 4th game I would recommend for Craigo. It's always difficult to recommend Nintendo games because I always forget that me and Chris bought every single Nintendo game that's ever come out ever.
Yes.
Which is a fact. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, do I recommend a Pokemon game? He's Chris will do that. So this is a strange one, but I think this is a game you would enjoy, and that is Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. So I know you quite like Dynasty Warriors in like a weird nostalgic way.
So I used to be a massive Dynasty Warriors stan. I don't know why, but back in the PS2 days, all my friend group were obsessed with Dynasty Warriors. We used to buy all of them back then. They were all the same game, and they would just change the number. Exactly the same game. We'd buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Play it all again.
Yeah.
Pour hours into it. Unlock all the characters. Beat them all the characters. So I haven't played one of those games probably since the Warriors style game. Probably since the PS2. So it is so I would have nostalgia for, definitely.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Hyrule Warriors is the best version of those games. Particularly the Definitive Edition on Switch, because it has all of the DLC from the Legends version on 3DS and some more. And it's got refined mechanics where you go to each of the different characters on the map. Shit tons of content, like a ridiculous amount of content. Lots of cool RPG elements, lots of cool sparkly enemies to kill. A good story mode, like good challenge modes. It's a game you could play in bed for literally years. I think when I watched a completionist video of that game, it took 1,000 hours to 100% complete. Like, obviously you're not a madman, you're not going to do that, but like it's one of those games that you can have in your Switch and play a level every now and then, do a challenge, do whatever, and it's just endless content. Obviously you don't have the Zelda nostalgia yet, so it's like but I think you'll probably have enough, and I reckon this over Age of Calamity, because I think you'll be burnt out.
I was going to say why not Age, because Age of Calamity is a sort of prequel to Breath of the Wild, and Craig with no Zelda nostalgia, wouldn't Age of Calamity not make more sense?
I think Age of Calamity is made for Breath of the Wild fans, though. Like, specifically Breath of the Wild fans, not Zelda fans. And I think Hyrule Warriors, the main game, is a bit... This sounds really bad. It's a bit simpler and kind of, I think, fits the handheld style that I know Craig is more likely to play. Whereas,
yeah, because didn't you say Age of Calamity is really bad undocked? Am I right?
It runs, unless they've patched it runs like ass.
Yeah.
It does run terribly. And again, it's kind of got those weird open world elements that... I don't know. Like, I think the newer Dynasty Warriors have those games. I just think, again, it's detaching the Wii U from ourselves that we played. I think that the Wii U game on its own, I think, would be something that Craig would like. It's just... Yeah,
I was just thinking when, Craig unlocks Tingle, and he'd be like, who the hell is Tingle? But at least on Age of Calamity, it's like, oh, I've unlocked some characters from Breath of the Wild.
Nice, Chris. Zelda. Yeah, Chris loves Zelda.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but it's one of those, I think, if she's already borrowing Breath of the Wild, is he going to want to play Breath of the Wild 0.5 with worse graphics and worse combat? Probably not. But I would recommend Fire Emblem Warriors, but I'm not that mean. Because you'd have even less clue. You'd be like, why? Why? All these characters are in 3DS games, so why are they on the Switch?
Yeah.
But there we go. Pengy, your final recommendation.
Right, my final recommendation is in classic Pengy.
Oh no.
They've kind of cheated here.
Because I love how neither of us saw it. We know he does this every time, and neither of us saw it coming.
Because the game I was going to recommend online component might not be as active as it once was. So I'm recommending Splatoon 3, not Splatoon 2.
So a game
I think we'll allow it. We're
just about allow it.
We'll just say he's recommending Splatoon, I guess.
I'm recommending Splatoon, and obviously Splatoon has got a single player mode, and Splatoon 2 is actually quite good, and the DLC, from what I know, is even better. The Octo, where you play as the Octolings, but the big draw for Splatoon 2 and the Splatoon series is the multiplayer, and obviously when that was like first came out, every other weekend you'd have things called Splatfest, and it'll be like this week tomato ketchup with facing mayonnaise, and one of the characters would be like pro ketchup, one would be pro mayonnaise, and you would side with them and do your Splatfest and play multiplayer. That's not happened for a while. There's not been any updates in that for a while either. But when obviously Splatoon 3 comes out, that will hopefully come back. So people will be playing that every other weekend. Like, I'm not playing Splatoon 2. I don't think Dave is playing Splatoon 2 at the moment either. But like Splatoon 3, I will jump on. I don't know when it comes out, if Dave will be able to buy it or not. But yeah, it's one of those things like, this is the best shooter, or will be the best shooter on Switch. If you go Doom Eternal Port and that, I'm thinking Switch only, this is the best shooter on Switch, or hopefully will be the best Switch shooter.
It's also the best multiplayer series that Nintendo make by a long way. Like it's great. Like, it's a great multiplayer game. It's a game that you would like, to be honest.
Yeah, I did play a bit of it around yours once, I remember, Davey. I did enjoy it. I think Chris is probably right. I wouldn't run out and buy like Splatoon 2 now. I would wait for Splatoon 3. And then
that's why
probably
I went
pick that up at launch and give it a go then. But yeah, it's definitely one that I would try 100%. Because I like those sort of games where you can I like shooting games where it's not all just about aim as well. That's part of why I liked Overwatch so much, because you can you can be good at other things and still win the game, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So your last pick, Dave.
So my last pick, again, we could have picked 20 games. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous how many games are on the Switch. I've gone for one which actually, it's funny that Chris didn't recommend, considering that he loves it so very much, and that is Metroid Dread. Obviously, Chris's favourite game of all time. He's forgotten.
It was on my sort of list, because I was going through what I was going through like Nintendo series. I was like Pokemon, Kart, Smash, Zelda. I was like, oh, Breath of the Wild is going to lend him, so it's like I don't need to. Even though Link to the Past would be the obvious choice, or Ocarina of Time from the Nintendo Store and Switch Online. Proper Zelda games, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, Skyward Sword's on the Switch, Chris. You could have recommended that.
That would like be fifth recommended.
Oh, is it? But yeah, Metroid Dread is a Metroidvania game, shockingly. A game with Metroid in it. It's actually a Metroid game. And it's funny, because I haven't seen that game on an OLED. It looks jank when you watch it in videos. But I remember I played the demo handheld, and I was very impressed by it. It looked fine. It's the best of that type of game on the Switch. Perfect for handheld as well. I know you like that type of game as well, which is a bonus. And yeah, I think it's one of the more unique games on the Switch. I personally prefer Metroid Prime to 2D Metroid, but we don't have Metroid Prime on Switch just yet, so I'll have to recommend Metroid Dread. I haven't even played Metroid Dread beyond the demo, and I'm recommending it. It's one of those that I was very close to buying this time around. Will probably be a end of the year game if it's still available to purchase. You know what Nintendo is like. But yeah,
that's right. I do have the demo installed. I haven't played the demo yet. One of the good things I have found with the Switch, I love the demos. I love the fact that we've gone back to having demos of games. It's kind of cool. I haven't gone to playing that demo yet. I will give it a go. One thing that does put me off is there's a lot of talk that it's quite difficult. I know they've added this difficulty, haven't they?
Easy mode, which is actually on the demo They actually patched the demo, which is quite cool. So you can try
so maybe I'll give it a go. So I know when Chris played it, he was saying that he was like, some bosses took hours and hours and hours. I don't know if I quite have the patience for that. So maybe I'll play it on like normal, and then if I get frustrated at a point, just pop it down.
Most people beat that game in about 7 hours. So
yeah,
Chris Pengelly.
Yeah,
who knows? But yeah. So that's
I'm sure if Penguins can do it, I can do it. I know Penguins are the gaming god, but
yeah. Bless him. Bless old Pengy. You throw me off there thinking about Pengy playing Nintendo games. So is there anything we've missed, Craigo? Is there anything you've got an interest in, you want to ask? These two fountains of purchasing games, we probably have purchased them at some point.
So just off the top of my head, some ones as you were saying, which you said about the Zelda like Dynasty Warriors sort of game. I know that Dynasty Warriors 8, I think it's the Extreme Legends Edition version, some silly name. Pretty sure it's a Switch exclusive, and from the sound of it, it is the best Dynasty Warriors game like in a long time. Dynasty Warriors 9 came out and it looked pants, and I think it got absolutely slated in every review ever.
Open world one, right?
Yes, it looked terrible. So that'd be when I'd maybe be tempted to just pull that nostalgia, because I haven't played a Dynasty Warrior game in so long.
I think Warriors Orochi is also on Switch, right, Chris?
Yeah, and there's actually
the Japanese version one, which is probably more interesting.
There's another Warriors game coming this
Samurai Warriors
month. No, it's exclusive to Switch, and like I've never heard of the IP, but that is coming. It's got like
I'm glad you recommended that to Craig. What we've been saying.
No, but there is another Warriors game that is exclusive to Switch coming that isn't Zelda or Fire Emblem.
They do like the Switch. Does the Warriors team, the Tokyo Koei guys? So if you want to play that type of game, Craigo, there's plenty of Switch. Chris could also recommend the Senran Kagura series, which is a Muso series.
There's none of them actually on Switch.
You're joking. Of course you knew it. That's what. Of course
you. One's on Switch. I think there's two on Switch at the moment. One's the pinball one, and one's the weird like dating one.
Both weird, Chris. There's also Persona 5 Strikers, if you just want to be completely clueless to what's going on.
I know Chris is an expert at that one, so maybe he can talk me through that one. Yeah. Other than that, another Zelda game, but specifically the handheld one that was kind of remade and remastered.
Awakening.
Just because it looks really pretty and it looks so perfect for playing handheld.
It was the first thing I actually tried on my OLED, because it was originally a Game Boy game, and I was like, and obviously because of how the map is done and stuff, like the little square and that when you're walking around, and being from like the 2D perspective, like I always weirdly prefer like 2D games on a handheld thing, and then from the little bit I did play it did look really good on the OLED, and it's going to sound odd because Breath of the Wild is obviously on it. It's my favourite Zelda game on Switch until we get like,
Dave's just double face palmed.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It's hard work doing these podcasts with Chris sometimes. It is a great game, to be fair.
I get what you mean as well about the 2D handheld as well, because it is awkward trying to, obviously on 3D games you're using your right thumb to do the camera most of the time, and it's really awkward trying to do two joysticks at once, I found.
Especially on Joy-Cons with those little tiny sticks. The big boys, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the other one I've got, actually you guys didn't say, it looks really pretty on the Switch, and it looks a bit more interesting, a bit different. That's Luigi's Mansion 3.
Originally that was on my list, and I forgot about it.
But, not one that I know much about, but it looks like one of the better looking Switch games. This looks a lot of fun.
So
kind of silly.
Yes, it's a ghost vacuuming game.
Yeah.
But you don't need to have played 1 and 2. It's really irrelevant to have played them, so you could jump straight into 3. It's a very good game. It's often forgotten because I think Luigi's Mansion as a franchise gets forgotten about, but it's very, very good. 3 in particular is very, very good. There's a lot of cool mechanics where you have to use 2 characters at the same time. There's lots of puzzles. It's obviously absolutely beautiful as well. It's one of the best looking games on Switch. And yes, that was absolutely, if you can get that game for a good price, yeah, it's one of.
Because I didn't even realise that it's a proper Switch game. I thought it was one of the many Wii U ports.
No, they never did a Luigi's Mansion for Wii U.
No.
Sadly, but no, it's from the guys obviously doing the Mario Strikers game.
Yeah. See, that's also the other thing. Like, there is the Mario Sport titles on Switch, but both tennis and golf have not been great. But Strikers is, upcoming. It's kind of in that realms of, Splatoon. Like, you want a Mario Sports game? Wait for Strikers. Sort of thing.
I think tennis and golf are actually pretty good now.
They
weren't very good at launch. And that's always the problem. I think there's plenty of content on both games now. There's also Mario Party, which is again, it's not something you're going to want to play on your own, but they're good games. They're on Switch. Like Mario, if there's got Mario in the title, the chances are it would be decent, if nothing else. So there's plenty to choose from. Yeah. And obviously, we didn't really talk about Donkey Kong a lot, but if you want a hard 2D platformer, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, and one I had on my list originally, but I took off because of Triangle Strategy, and it was obviously Fire Emblem Three Houses, because it's similar sort of principle. Like, it's got 3 countries. There's 3 countries. It's a turn-based like RPG. You have to make choices and stuff. It's like you're playing Triangle Strategy. You don't need Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Three Houses winds me up, right? Because it's another one of those games, and like they make it another game, and it's the best game in the series, but it's like the fucking school bits in that game are awful. It's awful. Running around, no character has a character because you have to be able to give them everything, and I hate it. Like, the combat's great, the actual story isn't too bad, but all the bits where you've got to go to school and you've got to talk to fucking girl A and get her to do this, and then it's fucking awful. Like,
From what I've seen as well, the art style in Triangle Strategy, so I think it's a lot better.
There's a lot of those games coming out, Craig, so don't you worry. If you like the art style, there's about 4 announced. All of them going to be really good.
Be good.
Live Alive looks really good. I'm really annoyed I can't buy it, but Live Alive looks really good.
I mean, you might have broken, but isn't that after Mario Strikers?
After Strikers,
You could have broken by then. At that point, Dave, you just throw it all in.
At that point, I'm playing Resident Evil 5 because that's the safest one. I don't want to do it, so it's fine. But yeah, we could literally sit here for another hour talking about Switch games. And obviously, if you're one of the many people from the forum that watches this, please throw some recommendations in for Craig, because me and Chris, although we like the Switch, it's a very recent thing. We didn't even mention Monster Hunter Rise, because I know that's going to annoy everyone. But Monster Hunter Rise
exactly, and like when I said when they mentioned like JRPGs and that, I'm like, he does like JRPGs. Xenoblade, and it's like, I've only played Torna Country, and it's like,
the definitive edition of the first game, I think, could be one that Craig would like. It's a massive game. If he gets into it, it'll be his favorite series, because it's one of those type of games.
Yeah,
but it's whether you get.
Isn't the first one real time, and then don't they switch to turn based or something?
They're all turn based real time, so they're all real time.
Okay.
In that you move around and stuff, but it's a
Yakuza, like a dragon sort of thing.
It's more real than that.
Okay.
It's way more real time than that. It's kind of like annoyingly, I think it's kind of like the first Ni no Kuni, maybe like a little bit of Ni no Kuni 2. Like, it's that type of thing. Like, you have a command line underneath you, and then they tick around, so like you A to attack, and then you can combo it and stuff. Like, it's more real time than turn based, but it's still technically turn based. But you can run away from the enemies. It is the best looking game on the Switch. From a technical standpoint, it's ridiculous. Like, none of those games should work, but they do. You know what I mean? Like, you're just running through a field and there's a giant monster. You can fight that giant monster. There's no load times. There's no frame rate drops. Like, it's ridiculous. Everything's voice acted. The story's very serious. For you look at it and you think, oh, this is going to be standard JRPG, and then within 10 minutes, some girl's been stabbed to death, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what? And the one on the Wii U, the Earth gets destroyed in the first 5 minutes.
Does it have the classic British accent?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm about to say
this is the one with
This is the one with Dan Bam. Where are we going?
The Monado.
It's rhyme time every 4 seconds. It's rhyme time. Have we got the Monado? Shulk, where's the Monado? Yeah, like it's all voice acted like that, so you'll love it.
Lovely.
You'll love it. And then for some reason, all the little characters are Welsh. I don't know why they always are, or Scottish. But yeah, Xenoblade is one of those games. Like I think I own every single port of Xenoblade Chronicles. And I get quite far, I enjoy it, and then if I don't play it for 3 days, I can't remember where the fuck I am. That's really the problem. Because the side quests are numerous. Like I think the first Xenoblade, if you wanted to, you could make it a 200-300 hour game if you wanted to, like easy, and handheld it works. So. But yes, that's our Switch recommendations. Next week we will still talk about Nintendo because that's all we've got to talk about now. But if you enjoyed the show, drop a comment, drop a like, drop a subscribe. I have been your host, UF Gizmo. You can follow me on all the socials at UF Gizmo. You can follow Mass of Das at Mass of Das on everything. You can follow Craig in the streets. Still hasn't got a Twitter account. He's never going to do it. He's the best of us. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.